by Matteo DiVincenzo. And Matteo, obviously these two sides well versed against each other. Last year was a thriller. Princeton won in Bethlehem 21-19. You begin things off with a ranked matchup. Number 5, Pat Glory, and number 12, Brandon Paetzel at 125. It's an exciting way to start off the match.
Yeah, for sure. Pat had a great start to his sophomore season at the Open, going 4-0 and taking first place. Paetzel's a tough opponent from Lehigh, also from Jersey, so I'm excited to see these boys scrap.
Patrick Glory, the 125 for Princeton, a product of Randolph, New Jersey, went to Del Barton Prep, and as a freshman last year made it into the NCAA tournament, one of 3 Princeton All-Americas last year. Both he and Patrick Brucky returning to the squad for this 2019-2020 campaign, and so far these two sides just surveying things. 50 seconds in, a chance here though maybe for a takedown.
Yeah, Paetzel's in here deep on the right leg of Glory, but Glory's real good and comfortable in these funk positions. He likes to be here. He stays calm, and he wrestles through these positions pretty hard. But we gotta stop because of potential dangerous on Paetzel, so we're back on our feet.
Princeton 14th ranked in the coaches polls, Lehigh 7th, and last year, Princeton 15th at the NCAA tournament with those 3 All-Americas. You look at the ranking, obviously, for the coaches polls, a little bit different than what will factor into points and tournament play, but both of these sides potential to be top 12, top 10 this year, and what better way than to start things off here as a shot attempt gets well blocked. Glory for his career, 34-7, a sophomore last year. As a freshman, finished 6th in the NCAA tournament. Also won the EIWA championships, went 3rd at the Midlands tournament, and is already in his 2 seasons a 2-time Tiger Open champion. 34 career wins, 29 of them with bonus points, 10 pins, 2 forfeits, 8 techs, 9 majors. This is tough to foresee whether it's going to be bonus points for either side, but obviously those bonus points going to be key today with how even these matchups are between the 10 weight classes.
Yeah, this duel could easily be split 5-5 matches, so these bonus points are going to be crucial, especially at these weights where we got All-Americans and Pat Glory, Pat Brucky. We're gonna need bonus points, but Paetzel's wrestling tough here, and again Glory's comfortable in these positions, but I like this way the first period's going.
40 seconds left to go in the opening period, and so far neither wrestler really getting a real big advantage. Brandon Paetzel, a senior who transferred from Rutgers, 32-24 in his career. The senior, his own loss this season by major decision to Nick Piccinini of Oklahoma State, a wrestler that Patrick Glory also familiar with, and his 1+ season. Paetzel last year finished 3rd at the EIWA championships, but at 133, he's back down to 125 after wrestling there with the Scarlet Knights. Still no takedown in the final seconds tick off. And so far, no score between Patrick Glory of Princeton and Brandon Paetzel of Lehigh.
Yeah, so Glory's going to take bottom going into the second. Paetzel deferred to Pat, and so Glory will start down on the mat, and we're going into the second. Like you said, Paetzel coming down from 33. It's a big 25, but Glory's no small 25 either, so we got a pretty two big guys here, and so we'll see how this period goes.
Well, what really stands out about Patrick Glory? He came in immediately, high ranking in recruiting, top 20 by Internet and Flow Wrestling. But what really stands out for him, especially at 125?
He's a goer. He doesn't care who he's wrestling or what they're ranked, and right from the get-go, he just wrestles with supreme confidence. He wrestles like he was wrestling in high school, just trying to beat up guys, and it doesn't matter where they're from, who they are, or what they're ranked. He wrestles everyone the same. And I think just from the beginning, he was able to establish a lot of confidence in his skill set, and combining practicing with Coach Dubuque and Coach Ayers, he just developed into a very good college wrestler. And his top skills are, I would say, what he's most known for, and hopefully we'll see that in a little bit.
Well, he does get the escape to get the opening point of this 125 match. Lehigh up to 7th in the rankings after taking down Oklahoma State 21-20 at Stabler Arena. You compare that to Princeton, obviously, here at Jadwin today, the normal or the general venue for Lehigh wrestling is at Lehman Turner Arena, which would be compared to Dillon Gym here at Princeton University. But that win, 21-20, came on the third criteria, points, 58-48. But Oklahoma State, I mean, they're the #1 program all time in terms of national championships, individual and team. That was their first meet of the season. That's obviously got to be a big confidence for them coming right in after last year starting the season 0-7, getting back to 9-9 and finishing 13th in the NCAAs. They have high standards, but to get that win nonetheless puts them right into midseason mode, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, that win carries a lot of momentum coming into this duel. And I would say that duel with Oklahoma State was kind of it was back and forth, but the Lehigh was able to come out on top. And you know, any big win over a big program like Oklahoma State's going to carry some pretty powerful momentum throughout the beginning of the season.
So far, an escape by Patrick Glory through 2 rounds has him up 1-0, and a decision here for Lehigh to start neutral. And obviously an interesting decision there, thinking about the 2 points for the takedown in the lead.
Yeah, and also I would think that Patel just wants to stay to avoid going below Glory. You know, as I said, he's very good on top and kind of known for that, and so Glory could build up some riding time and increase the lead. So I think Patel just played it conservative and is going to go for the 2-point takedown.
Yeah, Pates only had 23 seconds of riding time if he began on the bottom, and Glory had him on top for 1:23. Even with an escape, Glory would have had the point for riding time in the tiebreaker.
Yep.
And right now, Glory fends off actually a leg at one point of Patel. And he's still trying to get behind Patel to get that takedown.
Yeah, Patel's doing a good job of getting in on Glory pretty deep, but Glory's okay here, and we'll, gonna get 2-point takedown on Patel.
That is huge.
That is big.
And now it's Glory trying to return to his feet and escape very quickly, gets it back even, and may send us into an extra period, but a nice return.
Oh, we got a locked hands. Patel clasp on top. We're going to get a 1 point coming Glory's way.
And that comes with 40 seconds on the riding time. So that point to Glory now means an escape within 20 seconds could put him atop for this match. Still waiting to get, and now we do see the point on there in front of us.
Yeah, I think the Lehigh coaches were thinking about challenging the call, but they refrained from doing so.
Meanwhile, if you're Patel, you want to keep Glory down for 20+ seconds, and obviously the whole period will give him the riding time advantage in the match victory. So these crucial seconds here, Glory to his feet trying to break the hold, and he nearly did. Just about a minute. A hold of the ankles by Patel. Glory back again to his feet trying to escape, and it's out of bounds. Patel riding him out just enough. 26 seconds left to go. Patel at 1:05 seconds of riding time advantage. So Glory now needs the escape to at least even things up. And becomes huge right here. 26 seconds left in the period. Quickly after the whistle, Glory to his feet. Still can't break that hold of Patel. Glory, one more try here. And, ooh, looked like he got the escape. The official hasn't awarded it just yet, and now he will.
8 seconds left.
Wow. And that was a great job by Patel. He, at several times, had Glory with both feet on the mat, but he kept that hold long enough. Obviously, great forearm strength.
Yeah. He was also able to avoid getting hit for stalling. If he holds onto the leg for about 5 seconds, the ref would hit him for stalling. Oh, we got an early shot by Patel, and Glory's working to get the reversal, or the go behind.
Takedown would mean sudden victory as we go into overtime here. Tied at 3. Again, it was the escape by Glory for his 3rd point, and the minute plus the riding time for his 3rd for Patel. What a way to start off this ranked matchup between Princeton and Lehigh. And Glory, maybe a chance here for the advantage. Can he get the takedown? And 2 fingers up. And that'll be Princeton by sudden victory. A thriller to start off this match between Glory and Paetzel, 5-3. And obviously, after the way last year's meet went, for this one to start off with some extra time and extra period, what a way to start things off, and the Stradlin crowd loves it.
Yeah, what a match. Great composure by Glory. I mean, it just shows how an All-American is able to react in the pressure, when the pressure is on, and it just showed great composure, great relaxation, and was able to pick up the win. I know he would have, liked to expand the lead a little bit more and hopefully pick up bonus, but it's very important at this point in the year to just get those wins, and that's good experience for moving forward.
35th career win for Patrick Glory, and again, only his 6th, coming by the traditional decision. So Brandon Paetzel and Patrick Glory really putting on a show, as we were to expect. Meanwhile, you have another ranked wrestler on the mat now for Lehigh, and it'll be the 133, and Nick Farrow, 19th ranked by Intermat, going up against the freshman Sean Pearson, and well known to Lehigh fans perhaps from the Bethlehem, Pennsylvania area, as Pearson hails from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. One of 2 in the probables for Princeton today. You have Travis Stefanik at 184, also from Nazareth. It was a quick takedown there, though, by Farrow, and a quick escape by Pearson.
Yeah, so Pearson's coming up from 125, where he wrestled at the Open. Right now we got a spot open at 133, as one of our guys, Ty Gacy's dealing with some injuries. So we bulked Pearson up from 25 for the duel, and he looks all of 133. So I'm excited to see how he competes in his first ever collegiate duel.
Another takedown for Farrow. Farrow, a junior from Morristown, New Jersey. He's a senior. Got a win at the Oklahoma State duel, but that was by forfeit. So he is kind of, I would think, amped up for this one a little bit more than perhaps his teammates that already had some dual action underway.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, a win's a win, but it's never fun to get a forfeit in front of a big crowd, probably like it was at Okie State. So I'm sure Farrow's excited to get his dual first match done here.
Pearson, after the second takedown, back to his feet, looking for another escape, but a solid return by Farrow. So as you mentioned, Mateo, Pearson moving up a weight class. He was the 120 state champion in Pennsylvania as a high school senior. And, it's not just the challenge of going to the collegiate ranks, but then having, due to injury, to move up a class. But I'm impressed right now what he's been able to do to get a pair of escapes, because sometimes you see the wrestler with the weight advantage just after the takedown lean in and not give any room for an escape. But Pearson's been able to do it twice.
Yeah, Pearson's wrestling tough on bottom. I think, an advantage that he could be utilizing right now is that he's not cutting much weight, and Farrow is a big 33-pounder, had to suck some pounds today probably, and Pearson's feeling good, probably hydrated, and so he could use that to his advantage, especially in the late periods.
Good job to block the shot as Farrow tried to get his 3rd takedown. Farrow has had experience at 125, but he's kind of done the traditional move up into his junior season, as obviously you start to become 2021. That body starts to grow. You fill it out a little bit more, and that's been the case for Farrow.
It's pretty rare that you'll see a guy at 25 for 4 years straight. We might be seeing Glory bump up in the future. He's getting pretty big for the weight class as well.
Now, unless you're like me, it might take you until you're 29. And then you start bumping up a little bit after that.
Yeah, summer later.
But an exciting first period. It's been 3 takedowns by Farrow, 3 escapes by the freshman moving up a weight class, Sean Pearson. And obviously in this situation, it's not just about trying to get the win in these matches, but sometimes if you're losing, just fending off that takedown to keep the bonus points away. And a situation for Pearson starting off on top, maybe a chance for him to try to make a move and maybe a tilt.
Yeah, Pearson's tough on top. We'll see how he fares with the, being a little bit underweight. It's going to be hard to keep Farrow down, but Pearson is good with the tilts, like you mentioned, and the crab. Oh, he's getting a little overzealous there, and Farrow get a quick reversal, so we're going to have to work for our fourth escape here on bottom.
So it's 8-3. After the quick reversal by Nick Farrow, showed a great burst.
Farrow's riding this one-on-one, using it to the right side and keeping Pearson's shoulder down and cranking really on that arm. It's very difficult to get out of that position, especially when he starts to ride perpendicular.
Farrow still looking maybe for a turn here. Minute left to go in the second period. 8-3 the lead in favor of Nick Farrow, the junior. A Del Barton Prep graduate, obviously. Already mentioned one from Del Barton glory. Unfortunately, with the injury to Agazy, you could have had, if in that case, Del Barton versus Del Barton.
Yeah. I think Agazy and Glory are pretty familiar with Farrow, and going to the same high school, that could cause some matchup controversy there.
So after the restart, an escape allowed to make the score 8-4. If you're Farrow, he's had trouble getting any sort of turn to get back points. Maybe the decision here for him, allow a few escapes, get some quick takedowns, and get a net point to try to get closer to that 8-point difference.
Yeah, he's got riding time locked up at 118, so that's going to add another point, assuming that Pearson doesn't take it down. So I think Farrow just trying to lock in some more takedowns. Like you said, he's having trouble on top. Pearson's wrestling tough on bottom.
Still 20 and change left to go in the second period. 8-4 the score. A shot attempt low to the right leg, or the left leg I should say, by Pearson, got blocked. Pearson trying to fend off a takedown, but a quick grab of the right ankle by Farrow gives him his fourth takedown, and now 9th and 10th points of the match, with the final seconds coming to an end in this second period. So as it stands right now, 10-4, but again, a potential for riding time for Farrow. So right now this comes down to escapes and takedowns to see if there's any bonus points in play for Lehigh.
Yeah, that was a pretty crucial takedown on Farrow with 9 seconds left. Puts him up 6 going into the third. Optional start on Farrow, giving Pearson the escape. Like you said, I think he's just going to try and rack in some takedowns.
So right now, as it stands 10-5, comes down to either a takedown, no escape, or multiple takedowns with escapes sprinkled in. So this is where it becomes important, where every point matters. And if you're Princeton, Sean Pearson in a tough spot, his duels debut in a Princeton singlet, and has to move up a weight class against a ranked wrestler. Has been battling tough, and maybe a chance there for a takedown, even a turn along the way. The official, though, doesn't see much, and they're out of bounds.
So as it stands, if Farrow is able to get another takedown and ride out Pearson for the rest of the match, he'll actually get the major with the riding point addition at 13-5. But Pearson's wrestling tough on his feet, and I think he's aware of the situation.
Minute and change left to go. Trying to get takedown here, and Pearson just protecting that left leg right now to avoid the two.
Yeah, Pearson got a hard whizzer in, posting up on his other Farrow's arm, close to out of bounds. So he's got to recognize that. He's coming back into him, and looks like they're gonna go out of bounds with 45 left to go.
Yeah, it was a tad bit late for Farrow to get his right toe back inside the circle. So just for a split second, both wrestlers all the way out, and so a restart back to the middle. 40 seconds left to go, third period. As it stands right now, 3 points for Lehigh to equal it, but a takedown could change that. And a tough battle between Sean Pearson and Nick Farrow. These programs well versed with each other. Head coach Chris Ayers, a Lehigh graduate, was a multi-time All-America, was a co-assistant coach with Pat Santoro under Lehigh head coach Greg Strobel from 2001 to 2003. Santoro became head coach. Ayers was his assistant, and then Ayers coming over here and within the last decade turning around this Princeton wrestling program. And a late
Wow.
Attempt there, not enough for a takedown, and that will mean an 11-5 decision in favor of ranked Nick Farrell, but an admirable job by Sean Pearson in that third period just to fend off that last takedown.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Pearson's not happy. He comes in this match, he's looking for a W, but he showed grit and toughness in that third period, fending off late takedown. Farrell was in on his legs a few times, and to show the toughness there really speaks to the freshman's character.
Another exciting matchup coming up at 141. Ryan Pomrenke, 5th year for Lehigh, 5-2 this season. And meanwhile for Princeton, there's been some times over the years between Pat D'Arcy and Marshall Keller. Keller weighed in today, and he will be competing. And Keller had himself a good freshman season last year. So far as a sophomore, solid as well. 22 wins as a freshman, and so far neither one with a takedown.
Yeah, Keller got in early on Pomrenke's leg, but Pomrenke is very, very hard to score on, keeps matches pretty close, and we'll see what Keller can do to open up.
Pomrenke had experience against the fellow Princeton 141 Pat D'Arcy in the Princeton Open, won by a 7-3 decision. Keller, well, times around here, he was second team All-Ivy last year, placed 8th at the EIWA Championships, and lost to Pomrenke in that tournament, the third seed. It was a second sudden victory, though, and that was one that had an NCAA bid on the line. So those two battled it out very tough, and I would think Keller, fresh in his mind, maybe a little bit of revenge early this season.
Yeah, I know Keller was working real hard to get to the NCAAs, and this was a heartbreaking loss, and would like to see some revenge here in his home gym. Against Pomrenke here. We got Keller deep on a leg. He's trying to bring him up to Pomrenke is defending nice on the edge. He's got to, Keller, he's got to bring this into the center, take his time, relax here up, and Pomrenke defends off nicely.
And a tough situation there if you're Keller, because you're trying to, as you say, get him back towards the middle. If you're Pomrenke, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to use that leverage to my advantage and get a little bit of a hold with my foot on the ground, and that's exactly what he did. So it stays deadlock, no score. Minute and 15 left to go, first period. There was a little bit of a feint shot attempt by Keller. Now they're locked up high on a tie.
Keller working that underhook pretty hard. He likes to go to that high crotch, and as we see right there, Pomrenke is in a little bit of weird position with his knee. We might see the ref stop this one, but right now they're wrestling through it.
Pomrenke kind of get a little bit better hold of his quad area after the knee was in an awkward spot, but Keller able to hold on. It's a stalemate, and they'll return back to the middle. So this all-time series dates back to 1911. Lehigh's had the run of success, especially as of late, but then Princeton last year, a 21-19 win at Lehman Turner Arena in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, ended a 14 dual meet losing streak. Princeton trying to make it back-to-back years with a victory against a top 10 foe.
Yeah, I think we might see this duel come down to the last few matches. Again, like I said, it could be 5-5, so bonus points are crucial, and it's a good job of Sean Pearson last match, keeping that one to a minor. Here we're headed into the second scoreless, but Keller's been all over Pomrenke's legs, but Pomrenke's been able to defend off nicely.
No score after both competitors without a takedown. So Keller is a national recruit, 67th by Flow Wrestling, 77th by Intermat, a 3-time Virginia state champion, and the one year he didn't win still made the state championship. He began on the bottom, gets a quick escape, and goes up 1-0.
Yeah, Keller working hard with his fakes, trying to get Pomrenke to react and get in on him. Pomrenke staying strong in the neutral position, now working his underhooks. The guys are kind of alternating their underhooks to get some head position.
Keller, product of Virginia, but it's Pomrenke who's the local product from Annandale, New Jersey. You work your way up 206 and then head over to 22, and you can find yourself in the area where Pomrenke grew up from North Hunterdon High School. He began that big meet against Oklahoma State with the 3-2 decision victory. They actually began that meet at 141, and he's had good experience at 141 last year, went 6th in the EIWAs. This year went 3rd at the Tiger Open.
Yeah, I think Keller might have placed 5th or 6th in the Tiger Open. I know he was nearing his match limit come later in the day, but I know these two guys didn't meet in that tournament, so this is the first match of the season for them. Keller's got his Pomrenke's legs up high. He's got to work to relax and bring him to the center. About 35 seconds left, so he's got a lot of time to finish slowly here. But again, Pomrenke is just so stingy in that position.
And it's not just the strength there, but obviously the balance. And what are some of the things that you and the guys and other wrestlers work on to have both the strength and the balance in that scenario?
Yeah, you got to stay composed. Pomrenke's got to work the hands of Keller and try and break his grip, stay relaxed, and just work if you're around the edge. Work near the edge. And then if you're Keller, you want to just keep your grip tight, keep him in the center, get him off balance, and work to trip his leg. If Pomrenke is able to stay balanced and he's not moving around much, it'd be easier for him to fend off.
So it's a 1-0 score through 2 periods, just the Marshall-Keller escape so far. Pomrenke will begin at the bottom. And the big difference between this and what happened at 125, where Brendan Paetzel opted to begin neutral against Pat Glory, obviously had to be the riding time. Keller got out within the first 5 seconds of the second period, so riding time wasn't really much of a factor. Here now, though, Keller, you want to try to work out Pomrenke as much as you can. Pomrenke nearly escaping, big return potentially here, and they are out of bounds, but at least Keller will stay on top. His riding time now to his advantage at 18 seconds, but we still have 1:37 left to go.
Yeah, Keller's got to work to ride here for about 40 more, and then he could afford giving up an escape and trying to, just fending off in the neutral position. Pomrenke's got to get out quick, and that's just what he did. So now we're back on our feet. Riding time is not really a factor.
It's going to come down to either a takedown or yet another match into overtime. It was 5-3 by sudden victory in the first overtime period for Patrick Glory against Brandon Paetzel, a top 20 matchup. Actually, a top, we want to be more specific according to the Intermat rankings. Neither one ranked, but both showing a lot of moxie and certainly the ability to compete at a very high level.
Yeah, I think both these guys are right on the cusp of the top 20, top 25, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see both of them or one of them in the rankings in the next few weeks.
Well, it looked like they might have been a point awarded to Princeton for a stall, and that comes up to be a huge factor now.
Yeah. I think the ref noticed a lot of Keller's attacks, and Pomrenke wasn't really returning any of them, so we were able to give Keller a point via stalling, and he's back in right away.
Now, I will apologize. I did not see the warning, so that point came a little bit of a surprise to me, but that's obviously now one that could swing this match with 30 seconds left to go. No chance for riding time to be a factor, so Pomrenke needs a late takedown. And if that happens, Keller needs a quick escape. Keller is just able to keep his hips forward enough to avoid the takedown. Now maybe a chance to get behind Pomrenke. 10 seconds left to go. Right down to the wire here. The official
he's gonna
indicates nothing. Yeah, and looks like a review coming up by Lehigh.
Yeah, Lehigh's gonna look to challenge that initial two where Keller kind of hit his hip but had a slight whizzer in. We'll see what the ref has to say in the review. We have 4 seconds left, so regarding this call, it's most likely gonna determine the outcome of the match.
Yeah, so you have there quick obstruction with one of the Lehigh assistant coaches. You have Sean Gray and Joe Dubuque doing a great job to help out Chris Ayers, but they were just kind of helping to set the scene, because you have right in front, across from us, a chance for the official to look straight ahead at the review. And tough to see either way. You know, looked like maybe Keller's, I thought his hips was facing in enough to avoid that takedown, but obviously one that can swing this. It's not just 3 points one way or the other, but really it's a net 6-point swing.
Yeah. You know, it looked like Keller was able to sneak his arm in and keep the whizzer. This is a, you know, hard call to make, and I don't know if there's an objective stance on this. It, you know, I would assume the ref might stay with his initial call, but we'll see in a few seconds here. Yeah, like I said, I think it was just hard to overturn. There wasn't enough evidence that showed the takedown, so we're going to go back neutral with 4 seconds left and Keller up 2-1.
That's the, I would think, typical call stands, not call confirmed.
Yeah.
So you had Pat Santor, the head coach, the assistant coach Brad Dillon, and the volunteer coach Zach Ray trying to contest that call. But as it stands right now, Marshall Keller still ahead, 2-1, 4 seconds left to go. A quick shot by Patesel, fended by Keller. One more chance by, not Patesel, make that Ryan Pomrenke, and it's Marshall Keller winning by a 2-1 decision. And so Princeton goes ahead 6-3.
Yeah, huge win by Marshall Keller to just gut that one out. Princeton's up 6-3 headed into 49, and here we got Mikey D'Angelo's return to Jadwin.
Yeah, so interesting story at 149. Obviously, the fantastic career of Matt Kolodzik. He's going to take a break for this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, some of the other competitors that are top 5, top 6 guys who will be trying to qualify for the Olympics, they have a chance to defer a year, but for Kolodzik, training for other reasons, has a chance to take the year off, and D'Angelo did that the year before, and now he comes back at 149, so it's kind of that general flux that goes on for a wrestling program, and nonetheless a huge matchup for Mike D'Angelo, 12th ranked at 149, going up against Jimmy Hoffman, the sophomore for Lehigh.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of teams that are very deep nowadays, you're going to see these years off come pretty frequently, especially with the Olympics coming up. I think it just made the most sense for our lineup with Quincy Monday, Matt Kolodzik, and Mike D'Angelo all around the same few weight classes. It made the most sense for Kolodzik to take the year and, you know, train for the Olympics and have Mikey slot down to 49. We're scrambling here on the mat, and Mikey's able to come around with his the takedown via a little funk roll.
So Mike D'Angelo gets a takedown, senior from Commack, New York. Won the 149 at Princeton Open right here at Jadwin just a few weeks ago in his return. 2-time competitor at the NCAA tournament. Looks for the return. Instead, it's a reversal, a nifty play by Hoffman, the junior, who in his first duel did not get a point, lost 4-0 against Oklahoma State, finished 3rd at the Tiger Open. So 2 guys that at 149 were already competing at a high level here 3 weeks ago at Jadwin Gym. Already an exciting one here, although an extra point added there to D'Angelo as he got the escape before they were out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a good little reversal here by Lehigh, and Mikey was able to get out right away to kind of to negate the 2-point reversal. We're back on our feet with about 1:35 left, and like you mentioned, Lehigh was at the Open, so a lot of these weight classes are going to feature 2 guys that were in the same bracket a few weeks ago, but I don't think many of them actually competed head-to-head.
I will say there is one that's going to be coming up after this one.
Yeah, big one coming up.
That is the one I had circled, and we'll talk about that when it gets to the next match at 157. But 2 ranked guys in the top 10 who saw each other, not just this year at the Tiger Open, but previously in some big matchups. As it stands right now, 3-2, D'Angelo leading against Hoffman. Hoffman had himself a pretty solid season last year, all 8 of his wins with bonus. Well, it was 1-4 in duels, so he's looking for big duel win here as Lehigh now trails 6-3. So far, all first 3 matches in this dual meet, swinging points. Glory with the takedown and sudden victory. Keller with the late escape. And then a great job by Sean Pearson to fend off bonus points, as Nick Farrow had himself 4 takedowns, but just not enough for a 5th. 25 seconds left to go in this first period.
Yeah, it looks like the wrestlers are still just feeling themselves out here on their feet. You know, besides that first little altercation, they've kind of been just wrestling on the ties and, you know, staying away from the legs. But we're gonna head into the second, and we'll see some more action on the mat.
So it's a takedown, a reversal, and an escape, all leading to points. D'Angelo 3, Hoffman 0. As I incorrectly said, Hoffman, a junior. He's actually a sophomore. It was his freshman season. He had 8 points, all by bonus. Hoffman, a product of Drums, Pennsylvania, went to Hazleton High School.
Mikey getting to his feet, but Hoffman riding tough around the edge and putting on a good ride.
Kind of tough to really get a full lead for this sample, but I think that, yeah, Angelo, guy who's top in his class, who's been able to have success getting into the NCAA tournament, ranked in this matchup. If you're Hoffman, this is the statement win that you're looking for. Yeah,
this would be a huge win for Hoffman. Mikey's coming in off the year off, ranked high at 49, NCAA qualifier. But Hoffman's got his work cut out for him. He's putting on a good ride with, you know, 23 seconds into this this period.
D'Angelo to his feet, trying to get the escape, looking for the return.
Yeah, Hoffman here looking for a little tilt, bringing him down with a mat return, and now he's working the tilt. But Mikey's staying strong, working hand control, staying composed on bottom, and keep getting to his feet.
Trying to break the lock, back to his feet, but again, Hoffman with a return.
Oh, that looks like a reversal. Oh.
Yeah, I think we're going to get maybe a Princeton review here, but no. I think what happened was the official didn't blow the whistle. I think for a split second, both wrestlers were out, and then after that, the turn foot came back in.
Okay.
That might have been what the official saw. That's at least that's what I was thinking there, and he didn't blow the whistle, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think either Mike or Hoffman were out of the mat area and had some hand or foot on the wood, and in that case they'd be out of bounds, even though you know, some part of their body is still in the sphere.
So instead of 2 for D'Angelo, he gets the escape, has 1. It's 4-2. Of note, though, Jimmy Hoffman now to a riding time advantage of 1:06. We'll see the decision for the third period and what happens here in the final 30 seconds of the second period. As of right now, though, that could be a feather in the cap of Hoffman as he just barely escaped a takedown.
Yeah. Mikey tried to get a quick one in at the end of the period, but Hoffman able to tiptoe out of that one.
D'Angelo, experience as a co-captain in several years, and 2 years ago he became co-captain after a big dual win against Lehigh, and that was kind of one that helped to really cement his status on the team, and obviously a big team leader. He's hoping to make sure that Princeton takes 3 of the first 4 matches in this dual meet.
Yeah, something our coaches like to do and like to preach to us is go out there and wrestle with your wheelbarrow. It's a little story that Ayers came up, and it just kind of signifies dominant wrestling, not really worrying about the score, just getting out there and putting on a show, entertaining the crowd. And Mikey's known for that, and that's what he did 2 years ago in the same duel, and was able to, you know, kind of allow the coaches to make him captain.
Just to note that wheelbarrow is here, over by right in front of the Princeton bench.
Coaches love to slap it in some close call times.
And it's a great job by D'Angelo at least to eat away at the riding time advantage for Jimmy Hoffman. But he's unable to get any sort of back points. We've yet to see back points in any of the first 4 matches so far, and it just speaks to how even these two sides are. Lehigh, they're 8th all-time in the NCAA in terms of individual All-Americas with 153 they return to this year. Both with the first name Jordan, Cutler and Wood. Princeton also returning 2 All-Americas, both with the first name Patrick, Glory and Brucky. But here a huge reverse. And now D'Angelo looking for the same against Hoffman.
Yeah, they're in a funky position. D'Angelo went quick Granby. I think he's going to get the reversal here. His knee's in a tough position, but he looks comfortable.
And they're officially the 2 fingers put up by the officials. So back-to-back reversals. Hoffman looked like he had a fantastic move. But you talk about composure. You mentioned it, Patrick Glory. See it again with Mike D'Angelo not panicking after giving up the 2 and it being briefly tied. He just came right back to work and got the job done.
Yeah, I think he saw an opportunity to get a quick Granby, and kind of similar to the way Hoffman reversed him. He's a very composed wrestler. He doesn't get too nervous. He doesn't get worked up in these positions, and he knows what he needs to do. And right now he needs to get some mat returns and take some of that riding time off.
Riding time is no longer a factor now. 20 seconds left to go, and chance for another reversal here, maybe even a tilt for Jimmy Hoffman, who's been battling neck and neck with Mike D'Angelo, and this is going to be whistled dead. Oh boy, that was so close to it being 6-6. It's been quite a battle by Jimmy Hoffman. I think kind of similar to the situation that Sean Pearson is, unranked, going up against a ranked opponent and not being phased one bit.
Yeah, Hoffman's put on a good match, and Mikey's trying to fend off the last few shots in the last few seconds, and he's able to do so, and he's able to pick a 6-5 win up in his return to Jadwin.
A fantastic matchup as we've had throughout this dual meet between Princeton and Lehigh. 2 top 14 teams in the most recently published coaches poll. And so 6-5 for D'Angelo, and the decision makes it 9-3 Princeton. And now a top 10 matchup at 157. Josh Humphreys and Quincy Monday.
Yeah, these 2 guys met at the Open a few weeks ago. Quincy taking it. I think in the previous, in the last 2 years, they've met 3 times, and this is going to be the 4th. And Humphreys taking the 2 first ones, and Quincy taking the 1 this year.
Yeah, Josh Humphreys, a true sophomore. His debut last year was against Princeton against Monday and had a 5-4 decision. That was to start his career. He became the 2nd Lehigh true freshman to win an EIWA championship since 1980. And that was when Monday fell to Humphreys. Humphreys, though, finds himself 1 spot behind Monday in this year's rankings due to Monday taking that decision at 11-5 earlier this season.
Yeah, these guys like to put points on the board. Quincy likes to get it on his leg attacks early, and hopefully we'll have another exciting one. Humphreys is very, very strong and hard to open up with. And so Quincy's going to look to probably stay more on the outside and get his leg attacks from far.
A matchup between 2 4-time state champions. Monday from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, as to be expected. His father, Kenny, a coach for North Carolina, who won the 1988 gold medal. Quincy, though, he had his 4 weight championships at 4 different weight classes. 106, 113, 132, 152. Nearly had himself a shot for a takedown there. Humphreys from Parkersburg, West Virginia, 4-time state champion, was just a bit shy of a top 50 recruit, 51st nationally according to Intermat, but this is quite a matchup for these 2 sides.
Yeah, 2 4-time state champs. Anytime you have guys who've been in the state finals and won state titles 4 times, you're gonna have hopefully some fireworks on the mat.
Both made it to the NCAA tournament last year as true freshmen. This year, Monday 4-1. He lost in the final at the Princeton Open against Jesse Delavecchia of Ryder. Those 2 could be meeting up later on in mid-December. Meanwhile, Humphreys won the Journeyman Classic before falling, or I'd not say falling, but losing by decision to Monday. He's 5-1 on the season. Nearly a takedown for Humphreys, and officially now given.
Yeah, Humphreys is able to get behind in type of Merkel position with 45 seconds left to pick up the takedown, and now he works to build his riding time. He's got a pretty tight clamp on Quincy, as Quincy's pretty compact on the bottom here.
Great matchup between Princeton and Lehigh. It's a 9-3 Tigers lead. two sides that have prided themselves, especially in recent years, of facing a very tough schedule. Princeton's first four has this matchup, Oklahoma State in Stillwater, December 6th, then home against number 2 Iowa right here at Jadwin Gym. And it'll be closed out with another top 20 matchup against Rider before heading to Midlands. Meanwhile, if you're Lehigh, as this first period comes to an end, a takedown by Humphreys makes it 2-0. Lehigh began the season with Oklahoma State. Obviously, this one against Princeton. Tomorrow against Pitt, as Pat Santoro will go to his alma mater, or host his alma mater, I should say, a former national champion with the Panthers, but also Minnesota, Missouri, Penn State, Cornell, Army, West Point, and Arizona State ranked teams on the Lehigh schedule.
Yeah, both these teams have probably one of the two hardest schedules in the NCAA. I know Ayers, from personal experience, just likes to preach about, getting us prepared before EIWAs and before NCAAs, and the best way to do that is to wrestle the best teams and the best guys. And that's a philosophy he truly believes in, and it's just anywhere, anyone, anytime.
Well, considering Coach Ayers and Coach Santoro coach together, I assume that's a shared philosophy, given the respective schedules for these teams, as the official says locked hands, but Monday, not thinking about the escape anymore, thinking about maybe a reversal.
Yeah, he's looking for a little three-point swing as he's got a free move after the locked hands. Official's going to keep him rolling here, and it looks like he's going to be able to... Humphreys finding it off hard.
And Humphreys just able to make enough of a move to fend off the the reversal and set up a deadlock, but locked hands again, the call, and that's the second time now, two different wrestlers for Lehigh that have had locked hands. You had that huge call, and I believe it was the Glory match.
Yeah, Glory.
It was a Glory match that was called against Brandon Paetzel. Those, even you have now two ranked wrestlers for Lehigh that have been called for those locked hands that have led to a Princeton point. That first one helped Glory to send it to overtime, and eventually a sudden victory for Glory. We'll see how this one pans out, as it's 2-1, but as it stands right now, Josh Humphreys, minute plus on riding time, still working Quincy Monday.
Yeah, we're going to see the riding time start to build, and with only a period and a half to go, Quincy's going to want to get out as soon as possible so that doesn't even get locked in. If that goes over 2 minutes, it's going to be hard to bring that down.
40 seconds left to go in the second period. Humphreys in his matchup against OK State at a major against Wyatt Sheets. So he already knows how to handle these big matches and duels, and he's trying to get some crucial points for his team.
Yeah, he's very tough on top with these legs. He's riding a double leg ride, keeping Quincy's head on the mat, popping out his elbows, and working for a turn, but mostly just riding and wearing on Quincy as we finish up the second and enter into the third.
So it's complete domination in terms of the 2 minutes on top in the second period by Josh Humphreys, and the score 2-1. So now if you're Monday, and it's going to be a decision here just to allow the escape to give an extra point to Humphreys, you're thinking takedown here, and perhaps quick enough to either take away that riding time advantage. You're going to have to go for the escape.
He's got a big headlock here in the second. He's got a takedown and working for backs.
Well, he's got two, and hey, I was just about to say you will need more than a takedown if you're Monday. He does just that. The official looks in, the crowd erupting, hoping for a fall here as Humphreys trying to keep that left shoulder off the mat. Monday on the tilt, on the turn, still looking, fending off a claw once and twice, still looking for that leverage.
Yeah, Quincy's got a minute and 20 to settle in here. He just wants to keep his weight down so Humphreys isn't able to roll him through. Let's see what he's able to do here. He's adjusting the grip, but Humphreys fighting tough on bottom here.
The official's still looking in. He hasn't indicated any back points yet, just the two for the takedown. The crowd is, though, hoping for a smack on that mat for a pin.
Yeah, it would give us 6 points and really change the trajectory of the duel moving forward. But it looks like Humphrey's able to squeam out of there, and it's a 4-point lead and a 6-point play for Quincy.
And then a takeaway, or a reversal by Humphreys. It's suddenly 7-5 now. In a situation like this, as the next second ticks off, it's a point locked in for Josh Humphreys for riding time. So he has to get an escape here and a quick takedown. Monday awarded the escape. But now it comes down to the final half minute like we've had in every match so far in this dual meet.
Yeah, what a job by Quincy to pick up that 6 points. But Humphrey's able to rebound quickly, and he's got 15 seconds. He needs to take down and ride out and send it into overtime.
A packed house here at Jadwin Gym. A lot of the youth here making it loud. Final 5 seconds as Quincy Monday, a takedown and 4 back points. The difference as Princeton taking 4 of the first 5 to go up 12-3, an 8-5 decision by Quincy Monday, and it all came down to that one moment of explosiveness by Quincy Monday.
Yeah, what a way to send us in the halfway point of this duel. Quincy with a huge headlock late in the second. What a difference that made on the duel. 6-point swing. Princeton up 12-3 going to the halfway point.
We've had a sudden victory. We've had a 6-point decision that one more takedown would have meant a major for Lehigh. A 1-point
has been kind of, you know, modeling the theme of this year around, like you said, burn the ships, leave it all out there, and, you know, don't leave anything on the table or on the mat.
Meanwhile, if you're Lehigh, you still have your 2 returning All-Americas in Jordan Cutler and Jordan Wood. But if you're this point, if you're Lehigh, you're now getting that extra hunger for bonus points, because unless you win all 5 matches remaining here, you're going to have to come down with bonus points because Princeton's taken 4 of the first 5.
Yeah. Lehigh's going to need some bonus, definitely, from the 2 Jordans and the 2 All-Americans. Grant Cuomo here, sophomore, is fending off a shot early on in the first period.
And it's from Brian Meyer at 165 for Lehigh. Last year, the Lehigh win swung at 165. It was actually Dale Tiongson who upset Cole Walter, who was ranked at the time, and that kind of really just made things so big for Princeton. So if you're Brian Meyer, you're thinking, hey, I'm going to try and do the other way around here and turn things around for my side. But a good job in the end by Cuomo to avoid the takedown on the shot. Cuomo, a sophomore from Brewster, New York. He's already competed at the Princeton Open this year, went 5th in that tournament, but had in the consolation side, the wrestlebacks, 3 falls in a row, all by pin. That obviously had to really get him into that midseason mode.
Yeah, I think Cuomo dropped his first bout and then rattled off 5 in a row. You know, that's a lot of matches, and it's good to get those matches under the belt early on in the season. He could have had these, you know, a little first match jitters, and it speaks to his toughness to bounce back and rattle off 5 in a day.
Trying for the takedown here, sweep of the leg, and a good job by Meyer keeping that right leg out of reach. Back to his feet. Cuomo will try again, maybe for the sweep if he can get enough positioning. And once again, great job by Meyer. 3rd time, though, the charm. And it's a takedown.
Yeah, Lehigh must be doing some training on this one-leg jump defense, because they're very good at defending that, especially on the edge. But Cuomo, after 3 trip attempts, was able to bring down Meyer for the 2.
Meyer 2-5 this year, deferred last year, so he competed unattached. So in terms of his academics, a sophomore, but in terms of competition, a freshman. Now he is local to the Lehigh Valley, although from New Jersey. He's right across the Delaware River in Phillipsburg, and for people who are familiar to that area, the biggest rival of Phillipsburg is Easton, Pennsylvania, and for Lehigh, the same thing. Their biggest rival, Lafayette. So Meyer very familiar to the Lehigh program and also familiar to the Garden State. His lone dual decision this year was a 3-2 loss to Oklahoma State's Travis Whitlake, but he did already earn a decision victory against a Princeton wrestler, and that was the aforementioned Dale Tianson in the Princeton Open.
Yeah, Dale Tianson and Cuomo have been kind of alternating the 65 spot for the past year. As you see Cuomo getting the start here today.
And sometimes that, ultimately comes down to maybe who's a bit healthier, point of the season also, maybe a little bit of a matchup looking at the film. And I think that having both Grant Cuomo and Dale Tianson having that ability to go one way or the other gives us some versatile options for Coach Ayers.
Yeah, that's, like you said, matchups and styles is a huge thing when coaches are picking the starter, especially when guys are very close. And I think Cuomo here just was able to his style was a little bit more attractive in this matchup.
So a takedown by Cuomo and then an escape by Meyer makes it 2-1 in favor of Grant Cuomo. And this part of the vision of head coach Chris Ayers, associate head coaches Sean Gray and Joe Dubuque, and assistant coach Nate Jackson to have this fantastic crowd here at Jadwin Gym, a top 15 matchup today. And right now Princeton with the lead. This is again a Lehigh side and its dual opener, one against Oklahoma State. By criteria, it doesn't matter how it happened. A win against Oklahoma State is a statement win, but Princeton trying to work on a statement of their own.
Yeah, Princeton win over Lehigh here would give the team a lot of confidence going into the next few duels, and one being, like you said, Oklahoma State.
And that's the one that will be on deck after Thanksgiving, early in December on the 6th in Stillwater. Lehigh and Oklahoma State both tied at 7 and the coaches' polls. That might have been a little bit to the chagrin of Lehigh faithful, as they did technically have that criteria in their favor, which I would say, hey, give them an extra vote. But, it ends up working out still early in this season. So while rankings really don't mean a whole lot at this point of the season, still something where Princeton can make a statement. Cuomo's doing a great job on the ride. He's at 1:44 with less than a minute to go in the second period. And if it stands right here, Princeton, even if it's a decision, would go up 15-3. It would prevent Lehigh from coming back to win by straight decisions. It would come down to Lehigh needing some bonus points or criteria. So this is big here if you're Grant Cuomo. For Princeton, obviously Brian Meyer, you get a much-needed escape to even the score 2 apiece, but that riding time right now, more than a minute in favor of Grant Cuomo.
Yeah, and Cuomo got hit with a little stall call earlier on in the second period, just for not being able to return Meyer within 5 seconds. That could be a critical factor moving into the third period, especially with the riding time being just over a minute and 50 seconds.
It was Marshall Keller who was awarded a point on a second stall by Ryan Pomrenke. So it's obviously something, if you're Cuomo, you get that one warning. Can't do it again. Tries for a shot low with about 5 seconds left to go in the second period. Guarded well up top. And Lehigh's Brian Meyer able to keep things even at 2, but now the decision here, Cuomo will opt to start from the bottom. He has 52 seconds or so to work with to try to get the escape here and maintain that riding time point. But obviously now it's an interesting call here, and just as I was about to say, try to build it up. Maybe Meyer will let the escape he does before I even get the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Gives him at least 2 minutes, to work for a takedown. I know the riding time still stands, but if he's able to take him down within, a minute or so and ride out for the rest of the period, he'll be able to, clock that down to under a minute.
So it becomes huge. Again, just like every other match we've had so far. Even the decision that Farrow won 11-5, it was in doubt for roughly the final 90 seconds, with Farrow needing one more takedown for bonus points and didn't get it. So everything that has need to go Princeton's way has, just by pure grit and will of these Tiger wrestlers.
Yeah, what a close duel. It's, rarely do you see the first 5 or 6 matches be decided in the last period, or, have determining factors in the last period. But right now, that's the way that things are going. I could see that follow all the way up to the last bout.
I mean, this one could be one way plus 16 for Lehigh, the other way plus 9 for, or I should say plus 16 for Lehigh, the other way plus 9 for Princeton. So it's been neck and neck in every match so far, trying to get that takedown. Now, the riding time is sealed in. Grant Cuomo will have a point for riding time, under 40 seconds left to go. Cuomo still holding at 152 in riding time. He fends off the shot, trying to get back to his feet. Now 30 seconds left to go.
Yeah, Meyer had a little bit of a cradle locked up, but really didn't have much angle to drive Cuomo over to his hip. Cuomo does a good job to fend off and work the grip. 20 seconds left, riding time locked in. Cuomo's got to stay in the center. He does have a stalling, like I mentioned, which could put this into overtime.
So that is absolutely huge. Trying for a late takedown here with 10 seconds left to go. Cuomo trying to fend off with that right leg. Right leg to his feet. Attempt by Meyer for the sweep. Good job to lean forward by Cuomo. Takedown attempt is late, and what an exciting finish to yet another one. It's a 4-2 decision to Princeton's Grant Cuomo and a 15-3 lead. And again, just another fantastic matchup. We haven't had just really any breathing room in any of these matches so far.
What a duel. What an environment, what a crowd. This is really building up to be one of Princeton and Lehigh's, greatest matchups. But, every year it's like this. Now with, Princeton really closing the gap, we saw that last year. I think in the years to come, we're going to just see a bunch of good duels between these two teams.
So now it comes down to Lehigh. They would need perhaps a sweep with bonus or something in their favor. Meanwhile, if you're Princeton, you just focus one match at a time here at 174. It's going to be Kevin Parker for the Tigers, and he's seen time at 184. Travis Stefanik has seen time at 174. Those two guys look like they're going to flip it today. Parker, though, he had a breakout junior year last year, made it to the NCAA tournament as an at-large pick.
Yeah, Parker really changed as a wrestler, I would say, last year. Just started to wrestle with more confidence, go into his go-to takedowns more often and getting his leg in. Parker really made a lot of jumps, and like you said, he is now down at 74, which is, new territory for him in a new weight class. And I think this is actually his first match at the weight. He didn't wrestle at the Open, and I think the weight cut went well. He looks pretty sizable at the weight.
Well, he's going to have himself one of the toughest. It might be only arguably one tougher bit call to duty, so to say, at 174, because he faces Jordan Cutler, who's ranked second, according to Intermat, and the fifth-year wrestler, 5-0 this year, earned a major in the earlier duel against Oklahoma State, two-time All-America, last year as a senior, 7th, 2 years ago as a junior, 6th, and a man who's won 2 EIWA championships, who began his career at 157 in the deferred year, and his sophomore year as a student, freshman year as a competitor, then moved up 2 weight classes. So he's really worked his way up, gets a second takedown after the first escape by Parker, and Cutler will go up 4-1. But again, this is going to come down to, even if Parker finds himself behind and maybe doesn't find room for a takedown, being smart with the scoreboard and avoiding too many takedowns.
Yeah, Parker has to be aware of the score of the score of the duel and the score of his match. Keep it as close as he can, and maybe try and notch a few takedowns here and there, and be in the match.
He's had some huge moments last year, had key duel wins against Lehigh and Ryder to end double-digit losing streaks. And I'm trying to remember the one match last year, which was one of the big duels where he was in a position down by many points and had a huge takedown with potential back points. He can be a danger to reverse as well. So if you're Cutler, you have to be aware there's that moment of burst potentially from Kevin Parker to swing this match.
Yeah, Parker's a dangerous wrestler, especially when he gets on top. Could it be the Ryder match that you're talking about? I know he was able to catch his opponent on his back for a pin, and I think he was down prior, but I'm not entirely sure.
I want to say the Ryder one as well. I'm thinking double-digit losing streak snapped, and I'm going to have to do the quick little research as we continue this match. 25 seconds left to go in this opening period. It's right now Jordan Cutler up 4-2, the second-ranked wrestler at 174 with now a third takedown to go up 6-2.
Yeah, Cutler really getting in on Kevin's legs and finishing nice and cleanly. We're gonna head into the second with a 6-2 lead and riding time in Cutler's favor.
So it'll be Cutler up 6-2. So yes, we will confirm it was the rider match. Parker was down 2-0 and then kind of rolled out what could have been a potential takedown by riders. Michael Fag-Davies came back with the pin, and that got Princeton, what was at the time trailing 15-14, a 20-15 lead. The Tigers would end up taking down Ryder by a 2-point difference. So that was really the game-changing, or I should say the meat-changing moment for Princeton. And how about that roll to escape by Parker? And that's what he does so well. He has the ability to roll out in those escapes, and potentially, if the wrestler on top isn't aware enough, to get to a reversal.
Yeah, Parker's very good at the Granbys on bottom. It's kind of his go-to alternative to an escape. But again, Cutler just so persistent in on that leg and so clean on his finishes, and brings him to an 8-3 lead.
So it's 4 takedowns now for Jordan Cutler. Not yet potentially thinking about that extra bonus point with the major to make it 4. But if you're Cutler, I mean, this is a matchup that, again, you can't take too many things for granted against Kevin Parker, but you have to have that high intensity. Parker gets another escape, makes it 8-4. Minute left to go, second period.
Yeah, I mean, although right now Cutler's dominated on his feet, it is only 8-4. Kevin's wrestling tough, staying at the center of the mat, and doing his best to fend off a lot of Cutler's takedowns.
Cutler, the 2-time national prep champion from Blair Academy. Another product from the Garden State from Sparta, New Jersey, gets his 5th takedown. Parker breaks the hole without much resistance from Cutler to make it 10-5. Parker obviously has Princeton wrestling in the family blood. His brother Greg, a 2-time All-America who graduated in 2003, reached the 2002 NCAA tournament final. So obviously, Greg and Kevin, they've been training a lot over the years, and Kevin Parker having that breakout last year and a tough one here, but keeping things close for now within a decision. Final seconds tick off in the second period. It's 10-5 in favor of Jordan Cutler now. 2 minutes ago in this third period, obviously, but at 1:51, the riding time advantage. It's going to be tough for Parker to cut into that. So if you're Parker, you're thinking right now -6, avoid that last takedown.
Yeah, he's got to just stay tough on his feet this last period. Use his conditioning, wrestle tough in the center, not get hit for stalling, and just try and avoid this last takedown, because like you said, it's going to be hard to bite into that 151. Just going off the point that you mentioned earlier, a lot of what made a big difference in Kevin Parker's junior year was training with his brother over that summer. I think Greg Parker was able to help him out a lot in the training room and in the lifting room, and really helped him make a jump mentally.
And Parker so far doing a great job on the tie high. Again, it was at 133 where Princeton was able to avoid the bonus points. Sean Pearson fending off Nick Farrell. Now a takedown by Cutler puts him in a position for the riding time at least to go in his favor for the bonus point. So if you're Parker, a situation here, you're thinking reversal.
Yeah, Parker's got to look to either get an escape and a takedown or a reversal, like you said, to cut into this, to make it a 7-point lead right now with the riding time locked in. Cutler's up 14-6. Kevin's got some work to do in the last 45 seconds.
Yeah, right before they went out, Cutler kind of released the grip and allowed the escape. Parker tries to shoot low. Cutler defends it well. Now, Cutler, you're thinking at least one more takedown, but you're hoping maybe back points for perhaps more.
Yeah, Cutler's looking for the tech, which would give Lehigh a 5-point addition instead of the 4 on the major. Cutler back in quick onto Kevin Parker's leg, and he's able to finish for 2. Kevin's got to, be aware of his back and stay chest to the mat in this last 10 seconds.
Just for all but a split second, it looked like his back could be headed to the mat. He quickly turned it back front, we'll get our first bonus points of this dual meet as Jordan Cutler, number 2 in the nation, takes a major decision, 16-6 for Lehigh. They keep their hopes alive of taking this dual meet, making it 15-7. But if you're Princeton, you try to go right back at it at 184. And Travis Stefanik going up against Chris Weiler. And Weiler, another darn good competitor, 53 career wins, a senior from Biglerville, Pennsylvania. In his first meet this season, in a dual meet, fell 6 minutes and 26 seconds in against Oklahoma State, but finished 3rd at the Princeton Open. Meanwhile, Stefanik, seeing his first time up from 174 to 184 as a freshman last year, made the NCAA tournament. Yeah,
Stefanik had a great year last year. He took, I think he's his 3rd year sophomore. He took the first year off here at Princeton. You know, like you said, NCAA qualifier, was able to rack up 19 wins, but curious to see how his first time here at 84 is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Weiler is coming down from 97.
Yeah, Weiler, he began his career at 197, actually made the NCAA quarters, and then last year, is about midway through the season, so after the Princeton duel, moved down from 197 to 184. So, yeah, it's interesting to see two guys kind of go different routes to converge at this weight class.
Yeah, a 197 versus a 174. Seems like a pretty big difference there, but now they squaring up here at 84.
Stefanik, a former Pennsylvania State champion in 2017, national recruit rank of 21 per Intermat at the high school level. Weiler, a national prep champion at 160 at the high school level and was 16th in his weight class according to Intermat, but again, as mentioned, moved all the way up to 197, back to 184. Stefanik, local to Lehigh University from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, but familiar to Princeton wrestling as his cousin, notable man in the business world and the crypto world, Mike Novogratz, a former Princeton wrestler. So you have kind of a familiarity, both programs in multiple ways, but Travis Stefanik, another one comes to mind.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Stefanik is graduated from Nazareth, as did Pearson at 133. So, you know, got some Nazareth fans in the crowd, and, you know, from the Lehigh Valley, correct?
I was very tempted to ask him who they were rooting for, but I was like, nah, I'll just leave it be.
Yeah.
But I saw some of the young men there with the Nazareth sweaters, as trying to see who will get the first takedown here. Tough battle between Stefanik and Weiler.
I think safe to assume this match is going to be a lot of have involved a lot of scrambling and funk rolling, as both Weiler and Stefanik utilize some of their savviness in the neutral position.
Princeton with the takedown, so Stefanik gets 2 points. Weiler returns with a point of his own on the escape. 2-1 the lead now. If it's a decision here for Stefanik, it would force Lehigh to have either a pair of pins or a pin and a tech fall to either equalize or take the lead. Meanwhile, obviously, if you're Lehigh, you get the win here, you can at least get it within 5 and have an opportunity to take the final 2 by at least decision to win the meet. So this is huge here. And right now, as it stands, with 15 seconds left to go in the first period, Stefanik's take down the big one.
Yeah, 10 seconds left in the period. Stefanik in again. But Weiler is able to counter with a little ankle grab and roll, and it looks like we're going to end this period with 2-1 score headed into the second.
Well, yet another even matchup, and it's you know, interesting when you look at different sports and how different things affect the scoreboard. My favorite thing about wrestling from a dual meet perspective is that you can have the match where you might have, you know, 3 or 4 decided one way, 3 or 4 decided the other, and you might have 2 or 3 swing matches and was otherwise a close matchup. Right now, Princeton up by 8. Every match has had points swinging one way or the other. So, you know, sometimes you can have a match that seems out of hand on the team score, but so close on the actual action on the mat.
Yeah, I mean, any outsider who looks at this score could be like, oh, Princeton, you know, is dominating this match, and, you know, maybe by the score, but every match has been finished right at the last second, and you know, besides this last one and a little bit at 133, the matches could have gone either way.
It's really been a case tooth and nail. Nothing left on the table, nothing left on the mat. 2-1 the score remains as Stefanik on the restart rolls out, looking maybe for a reversal, and he will get the 2 points.
Yeah, great job by Stefanik to commit to that roll right before the out of bounds, slot in a reversal. Now he's got a 4-1 lead, build him right in time. 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the second.
Well, he got the reversal heading towards us, and I could kind of almost sense seeing the wheels turn where he's getting to his feet, thinking, okay, escape, and then as soon as he got to his feet, I got a chance for the reversal, and that's exactly what he did. So 4-1 the score. Weiler to his feet, trying to break the lock, but it's a quick return by Stefanik. Stefanik trying to end it there. If he got the fall, it would have been over.
Yeah, Stefanik looking for quick backs there, but I don't think the ref was willing to swipe in such a quick way there.
Yeah, that wasn't even a second there, but again, a fall would have ended the meet.
Yeah.
And so for right now, as it stands, Chris Weiler saves the meet for Lehigh, but down 4-1. Riding time's about even with the minute left to go in the second period. Lehigh is going to need some wins, and Weiler is going to have to try to overcome this 4-1 deficit.
Yeah, riding time is now swinging in Stefanik's favor, and he's looking for back points, but Weiler's able to get to his feet, and it looked like Stefanik was about to commit to that pancake there, but I think Weiler was able to stabilize and force Stefanik to kind of avoid, you know, going for that.
So what could have been multiple points for Stefanik ends up being 1 for Weiler. Weiler with the shot at the right leg of Stefanik. Stefanik keeping a hold of the arm of Weiler, keeping that leverage of the left foot far away, and the official says it's deadlocked. Stalemate there.
In that position, you know, if you're Stefanik, you want to just stay there, defend until you get a stalemate. It's hard to really, you know, portray some offense in a position when Weiler's so deep on your leg and you got a whizzer in. So it's great job by Stefanik.
Once again, 10 seconds left in the second period. Weiler trying to even the score. And he will. Gets a takedown, and perhaps looking for more. The official getting some swipes for potential back points, and it'll be 4. So a big swing, 6 points. And that's exactly what Lehigh needed from Chris Weiler.
Yeah, Weiler able to just at the last 10 seconds of that period, you know, a little 6-point swing with a takedown and backs. Now Stefanik finds himself in a hole.
And I'll say this as the officials talking some things over with the coaches right here, but back to the mat. This is far from over because Stefanik has an opportunity for back points. It's only the second time we've seen back points in this entire dual meet, but Stefanik maybe with an opportunity here.
Yeah, Stefanik needs to try and work this riding time up to over a minute and try and get a quick swipe. I don't know if it's going to be enough if he just lets him up and works for the takedowns.
So as it stands right now, the 4 back points, which got Quincy Monday, 8-5 decision, might help out Weiler for Lehigh, up 8-4. And again, it's those back points, those takedowns, those reversals that have swung close decisions. There's been only 1 match with bonus points, and that was just from Jordan Cutler a match before, and he's second ranked at his weight class. That's how much it's taken so far.
Yeah, we're going to see another second-ranked wrestler coming up at 197 in Pat Brucky. But for now, Stefanik is letting Weiler up. He's going to work for the takedowns.
So 9-4 the score, as again the option to allow that takedown, and perhaps also if you're Stefanik, you think maybe on a takedown you try for back points along the way.
Yeah, he's got to look to go feet to back here. You know, with a minute and 10 seconds left, a few takedowns, might not be able to close the gap.
That's been the difference so far for Chris Weiler. Takedown successive with 4 back points. Stefanik looks for a shot. Weiler gets a hold of the leg. Stefanik keeping it even. And the official not yet indicating for deadlock. Princeton hoping for something here.
Yeah, Princeton coaches were looking for a danger call there, which would happen when Weiler's back is across 90 degrees for more than 3 seconds. In that case, Stefanik would be awarded for 2, and the ref would start counting for backs.
Oh, there was a chance for a takedown. Instead, it goes to Weiler. And so it's now 11-4. No chance for riding time to be a factor here. So as it would stand right now, it'd be a decision that keeps the Lehigh in it with Patrick Brucky to come. And all Brucky would need to do for for Princeton is to get a win over his Lehigh foe, which is expected to be number 16, Jake Jacobson. And so in the end, tough decision there for Princeton as Travis Stefanik in his first bout at 184 loses by decision to Chris Weiler, and it's 15-10. So right now it comes down to one of the captains, Pat Brucky, who is second ranked as weight class. He's been a captain since his sophomore season. He's been the man who closed out the Lehigh match last year, closed out the Rider meet last year, trying to do it again here.
Yeah, Pat Brucky's been the knot in this Princeton squad these past few years. Like you said, sophomore captain, ranked second in the country, always countable in these dual meet situations, and it doesn't seem to faze him. You know, he seems calm, composed, and ready to go, regardless of the pressure that he is taking on.
So again, the score: Princeton 15, Lehigh 10. Patrick Brucky, second ranked in the nation at 197 according to Intermat. And yeah, he's thinking about that one guy atop of him that he wants to beat to try to get a national championship. Was Princeton's 11th All-America after a 4th place finish last year at 197. Won the EIWA championships last year as a sophomore, had himself a tournament win as a freshman in the NCAAs. Illinois state champion in 2017, and 5th ranked at his weight class at 195 at the high school level according to Intermat. He gets a takedown 7 seconds in, and a quick restart here as Jake Jacobson, the senior from Scioto, Pennsylvania, with a quick escape.
Yeah, Brucky giving up a quick escape, but he's likes to be on his feet. He likes to hand fight. He likes to club on the head, and I think that's just where he's most comfortable in these type of matches.
Brucky had one match at the Princeton Open, earned a tech fall, and then withdrew after that. Jacobson 3-3 this season in his lone dual meet. Lost by a major decision to Oklahoma State's Dakota Gear, who's another top-level, elite-level competitor at this weight class, and someone that Brucky might see in his next dual meet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to examine some of the Lehigh matches with Oklahoma State, and look at how Princeton is going to match up against them. A lot of good matchups coming in, and Pat Brucky and Dakota Gear, Pat Glory and Piccinini. Pretty much every match is going to be a close one, and this match is very good for Princeton's preparation in regard to Okie State.
Yeah, again, that's coming up Friday, December 6th. The dual meet between those two sides, I should say, was held here at Jadwin Gym last year, and the one that saw Princeton actually take 4 out of the 10 matches, but Oklahoma State able to get bonus points, 127-12, and as it stands right now, Patrick Brucky up 2-1, try to get a shot low. Jacobson able to defend. This is our 3rd matchup between 2 ranked opponents tonight.
Yeah, Brucky's in here tight, but Jacobson doing a good job to keep his head down on the mat, get the stalemate, go back to your feet with 38 seconds left.
The previous 2 matchups between 2 ranked sides saw Patrick Glory over Brandon Patesel at 125 by sudden victory, and then Quincy Monday over Josh Humphreys for the 2nd time in as many matches this season, winning 8-5 thanks to 4 key back points. 20 seconds left to go in this first period. Patrick Brucky tries for the shot low, defended well by Jacobson, but the relentlessness by Brucky and the takedown.
Yeah, big takedown by Pat Brucky with short time in the period. He was also able to pick up a stall warning on Lehigh in the last 3 seconds of the period.
And just, again, the relentlessness by Brucky. Jacobson looked like he defended that first shot very well, but Brucky almost in the same motion shot it again, and that second time there was just no chance to defend it.
Yeah, so much power and acceleration in those shots. Some call him the Bruck truck, and that's kind of why.
Wow, quick to his feet within a split second, trying to release the hold now, and will. So an escape for Patrick Brucky makes it 5-1 again. If Brucky wins, it doesn't matter if it's decision or with bonus points. Princeton would take down Lehigh for the second consecutive season and for the 7th time in Princeton wrestling's history. Against this Lehigh side, which is top 8 all-time in both team and individual national championships.
Yeah, it would be a huge feat for the Princeton Tigers to, get a win over Lehigh for the second year in a row, and this year being in the home gym opposed to last year.
Again, this was a Lehigh side that earned the criteria-based victory over Oklahoma State. Aside, Princeton will next face. And the 2019 portion of the season, Princeton has 4 meets, all against currently top 20 ranked teams. Then at the end of the year has the huge Midlands competition, which is one of the top individual competitions. Princeton then will have the F&M Open early January before getting back into it. 2 North Carolina-based ranked teams in early to mid-January, and then into Ivy play, the usual that includes Cornell, which Princeton actually in the preseason getting ranked higher than Cornell, and that obviously making a statement. How big that matchup will be February 9th here at Jadwin Gym, and then some of the other big matchups non-Ivy against Drexel and Rutgers late in the season, as Brucky, he's going to get a point for a stall called against Jacobson, but Brucky thinking of multiple points here for a takedown.
Yeah, like you said, Cornell has been the team that Princeton has had the most trouble, closing the gap in the EIWA and in the Ivy League. Being able to take on the Big Red at Jadwin in the hometown in the home arena would be huge for the Tigers in the years to come and in this year.
Cornell won the Ivy League last year. It was actually Lehigh who took the EIWA because they had that big win against Cornell last year. EIWA champions, 36 times for Lehigh, 3 for Princeton. 6-1 lead here for Patrick Brucky. Another look at this takedown at the end here. And again, the relentlessness of Patrick Brucky. He just waits and then eventually gets the takedown to go up 6-1. 2 minutes left to go in this third period. Brucky in control, and Princeton knocking on the door, a chance to win this dual meet against Lehigh for the second consecutive year.
Yeah, Brucky needs about 20 more seconds of riding time to lock it in. But Jacobson's doing a good job here on this reversal attempt, but Brucky's able to clamp down, get on the elbow, and he's only needing 8 more seconds to get the riding time.
And he'll, with 5 more seconds now, get it a minute plus, and then probably an extra 10 seconds after that, lock in the point for sure. So as it stands here for Patrick Brucky, he's in the driver's seat, so is Princeton. An escape allowed, riding time at 1:09. So if you're Jacobson, you need takedown, back points, something to swing this in your favor. If you're Brucky, you're thinking both defensively and offensively how to approach this.
Yeah,
that's the shot.
Brucky's gonna just try and get another takedown, make it 8-2, 9-2 with the riding time. But like again, you said, this match, it's just a matter of winning it in terms of the outcome for the duel.
Brucky nearly had a takedown. That may be a chance maybe for Jacobson. 35 seconds left to go. Jacobson wants a takedown and a tilt. And these two sides still even. The official not yet indicating stalemate. And as soon as I say that, he does.
Yeah, Brucky.
Split second early there.
Yeah, Brucky was just looking to lace Jacobson's leg there to solidify the 2, but wasn't able to get that done.
27 seconds left to go. These Princeton and Lehigh fans focused in on this match. Sometimes they get loud, sometimes it's almost that focal silence, so to say. Jacobson trying for a takedown, and he gets it. 10 seconds left to go. Brucke trying to defend here, trying to avoid it, going on his back. 5 seconds left to go. Jacobson trying for one more turn, but Patrick Brucke is going to hold off, get a 6-4, make it, I think, actually 7-4 decision victory with riding time. And Princeton will defeat Lehigh for the second consecutive season. Both years with Lehigh in the top 10. Last year was Chris Ayers' first top 10 dual win as a Princeton head coach, and for the second consecutive year taking down his alma mater and his former stopping grounds as an assistant coach.
Yeah, it must feel good for Coach Ayers and the Princeton Tigers. Big win in front of the home crowd. Now we got freshman Aiden Connor taking the mat to close out the duel.
Aiden Connor, product of Dallas. He goes up against Jordan Wood, who is certainly a great wrestler, 6th ranked in the nation. Connor in his first attempt in a dual meet, going up against one of the best heavyweight wrestlers in the nation.
Yeah, tough first match debut for Aiden Connor, but you know what Coach Ayers likes to preach is anyone, anywhere, anytime, and you know this is good experience for the freshman.
Wood 3-1 this season. Went 2-1 at the Journeyman Classic for Lehigh. Earned a decision victory against Oklahoma State. Last year was an All-America. Finished 4th at the heavyweight class. A 2-time EIWA champion. Got a takedown. Connor gets a quick escape. Wood only lost 5 times last year. All to wrestlers that finished in the top 3 in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, Wood finished 4th. But you know, interesting to see what Aiden Connor can bring to the table here to heavyweight. 3-time Texas State champion, 2-time Fargo All-America. Last year it was Obi Aja and then Kendall Elfstrom kind of mixing it together, and a case for Princeton where you continue looking to add depth at any weight class, but heavyweight, one of those that kind of stands out, that the Tigers, they're trying to get more and more competition there, where you have so many top level wrestlers, you add that in at heavyweight and it's just a cherry on top.
Yeah, heavyweight for the Tigers have been an open position in the past 2 years with senior Ray O'Donnell kind of being in the position for the last 6 years. Now, a lot of the recruiting for the Tigers has been at the upper weights just to fill this position, get more depth. Like you said, Kendall Elfstrom bumped up from 84, I think it was, just to get more depth and room at the weight. And now Aiden and another few freshmen are at the weight class.
Good job by Connor to work it out of bounds. Yeah, Jake Del Garbino also recruited at heavyweight, and again, as mentioned, Obi Aja, the New York product, who last year earned a pinfall victory at the EIWAs last year and helped Princeton to finish 3rd at the EIWA championship. So, you're trying to find that depth, and when you get that depth, you not only have the ability to match with different teams, but really I think the most important thing is what's not just in the locker room, but on the mat at practice, those guys competing against each other and helping to raise both wrestlers' level for the team.
Yeah, the more competition, the better the guys are at each weight, the better the starter is going to be. And, even if you're not starting and you got some high level guys in the backup positions, the level of practice and the intensity is always going to be raised.
Jordan Wood got a second takedown. He's a senior from Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania. Went to Boyertown High School, so not too far from Lehigh University. Pennsylvania state champion. Was a 10th ranked recruit according to Intermat, 20th ranked according to Flow Wrestling, and for him probably a little bit more on the easier side of a decision, being so close to an area where you have a top 8 all-time program in wrestling right so close to your front door. And that's been a huge boost for Lehigh in recent years, having that key spot at heavyweight.
Yeah, Lehigh, like you said, a lot of All-Americans in the past, so I think, staying close to home for Wood and staying in PA was an easy call for him.
Wood gets a third takedown after Connor had a second escape. Wood trying for the turn here, and Connor doing his best to fend off and defend that right shoulder. 8 seconds left to go in this first period. And for the Tigers, they had it against Lehigh last year and against Ryder, where they had the deciding victories at 197. So kind of that heavyweight matchup was not one that the crowd would be in as much as perhaps the wrestler is just grinding it out. And that's the case here for Connor. You're not focused on anything else but what you do on the mat. You don't have to worry about the team score. You can just focus on competing against a top 6 wrestler at the heavyweight class.
Yeah, Connor's just going to go out there, have some fun. You know, just get the experience he needs. Like you said, no pressure on this match. You're wrestling one of the best heavyweights in the country. You're a freshman in your debut at Jadwin Gymnasium. It's all about just getting the exposure, wrestling to the best of your ability.
Jordan Wood gets, so Princeton again, they're going to what is their opening dual meet of this 2019-2020 season. Last year saw wins against Lehigh, Ryder, North Carolina, a top 15 finish in the NCAA tournament according to how each individual competitor finishes in terms of points given to teams. But a great way to start off this season, and then up next for Princeton, and you have a chance to get a little bit of a breather for Thanksgiving, but then what a huge weekend, the 6th and the 8th. That's a Friday and Sunday in December. Oklahoma State, who is top. Huge weekend coming up.
Yeah, going to be traveling to Okie State and then coming back right after to wrestle the Hawkeyes in Jadwin. You know, it's an exciting opportunity for the Tigers, and you know, the best teams, you're going to require a certain level of toughness from Coach Ayers' squad, and I think hopefully the Tigers will be ready.
Wood got another takedown that go up 9-2. Final 15 seconds of the second period. Meanwhile, if you're Lehigh, you don't have much time to think about this meet. You have Pitt's coming up tomorrow, and another ranked team, and obviously Pat Santoro kind of not necessarily a homecoming for him because Lehigh will host it. But you know, I think obviously your experience will attest to this. The most important thing as a wrestler, because you can sometimes have multiple matches in a day, whether it's several duels or obviously tournament competition, is you just focus on the rest and recovery, and you shake off if that last decision went again. So you just shake it off, have a fresh memory, and go out the next day. Yeah,
thinking about any losses will never help you moving forward. You know, you have to evaluate what was done wrong, what was done right, and, you know, in reflection. But in regard to the upcoming match, it's best to just forget and move on, and focus at the next task at hand. And a lot of that comes in the form of recovery and rest, and, you know, kind of just put it in the back burner and move forward.
Pitt is ranked 12th in the nation. Again, that'll be tomorrow at the Lehman Turner Arena at Grace Hall in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for Lehigh. And that's going to be such an interesting matchup. But for Princeton, it's another statement win today. Hayden Connor over these last 70 seconds trying to fend off Jordan Wood, but down 10-2, and might be giving up bonus points here. Maybe trying, though, just to keep it to a major decision.
Yeah, Connor's wrestling tough. You got to give it to the kid coming out here in his hometown for this first match against Wood. You know, it's an exciting opportunity, but it's also a difficult situation to step in.
Yeah, it's one thing to have your dual debut against just any experienced senior level wrestler, but someone who's number 6 in the nation. And I think for Connor, the impressive thing that he's been able to do is not allow any sort of real dangerous decision for this one to be over like that. He's been able to metaphorically keep it on his toes throughout, and he's going to try and finish out these last 37 seconds for what is a victory for Princeton.
Yeah, he's showing some good body awareness, some good mat awareness, and You know, just avoiding giving up back points and wrestling tough through the positions near the out-of-bounds line, and shown a promising first debut.
So for Princeton, everything that they could have wanted from a neutral standpoint, you couldn't ask really for a better match. Connor, though, trying to get a late takedown. Oh, and he nearly had a moment there. Good job by Jordan Wood, kind of backtrack enough to fend off that move, and then eventually Connor ran out of real estate. He nearly had a reversal there.
Yeah, that would have been a good way to finish up the duel, but now we're into to the final seconds of the duel in the match with 10 seconds to go.
There you see a quick look back to Patrick Brucky.
Yeah,
And
I guess a little Brucky feature there.
Yeah, well, he had the deciding decision, so to say, as the victory in this major decision goes to Jordan Wood for Lehigh, but in the end, the Tigers roar to victory 18-14 in this dual meet, 1-0 on the season. Second consecutive win against Lehigh, the 7th ranked Mountain Hawks, now 1-1. And Mateo, ultimately, it just comes down